Everyone loves TV. Capcom reveals what they are hiding behind the countdown, and PlayStation's Game Pass is coming soon. Stay tuned because we have a lot to talk about in this week's episode of the Campfire Gaming Podcast. Hello and welcome to another Campfire Gaming Podcast. My name is Matt. I will be your host tonight. Thank you for joining us. Tonight in this episode, we got a lot to cover. A lot of TV, a lot of other games like Elden Ring, Skull and Bones, some cool stuff coming from Forza. Yeah, it's going to be a good episode. Joining me tonight is the one, the only Rich. How are you doing, Rich?
I'm feeling unique. That's how I'm feeling. How are you doing, man?
Doing good. Excited to talk about all the fun stuff in this episode. But before we dig into it, be sure to hit that like, subscribe button. You know how this works. You can find us on our social media sites at campfiregamingpodcast.com. There's also a link there for Discord. Come chat with us there. You can find us on Twitter at CampGamePod and Instagram at CampfireGamingPodcast.com. Also, we started uploading some of our audio versions onto YouTube. You can search for us on Campfire Gaming Podcast. We don't have enough subscribers yet, so go please subscribe so we can actually get a cool, unique URL for YouTube. So, but if you give us a search, we're there. You can find us along with these episodes if that's your preferred place to listen to.
Yay, we're back on YouTube.
Woohoo!
Woo!
But without further ado, you came here for video games, so we're going to talk about TV.
Yeah, we got a lot of TV to talk about.
Anybody that lived through the Xbox One announcement from 2013 is just getting a whole bunch of PTSD here. They're just like, oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
But luckily, this is actually all video game related, so got a lot of good video game related movies and TV stuff this past week or so. And to kick it off, trying to remember when this was kind of first talked about that they were going to do it, but the BioShock movie, there was a little bit of information that came out this week that it will be actually be coming to Netflix.
Yeah.
So it's kind of not a dead project, but it's also still not really all we have confirmed is it's coming to Netflix because sounds like there's no script, there's no writers, directors, or anything yet. It's just Netflix probably shelling out a ton of money for it.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, depending on the direction that they go with it, I mean, they had a lot of success with Arcane. That being another video game property and having an entire TV series built around that the League of Legends lore, and it's very, very well received. So I mean, I think, depending on who we get for this BioShock movie, could also be very good. They don't, as far as we know, we don't even have a director yet. Like, we don't even know who's working on the movie.
Yeah, yeah, they did pretty good with Witcher as well. Now, don't hype me.
Right.
I haven't watched season 2 yet, and I know there's very strong opinions on both sides for that one. I'll get around to it.
The first season was good. I never watched either season, so
I enjoyed it. It was definitely one of those. It was a good first season, and I hope there was a lot of stuff that it was one of those, like, again, first season. They probably didn't have like a ton. They probably had it's Witcher and Netflix. They probably had a pretty good budget, but like, assuming it was successful, they probably were going to get a lot more money. So, again, season 2 came out, I think, in December. I've just been catching up on a lot of Marvel stuff, so I haven't gotten around to watching season 2 of Witcher yet. So, but it's got a lot of mixed feelings. So we'll see what we're in for. But I enjoyed the first season. It was a lot of fun. And Henry Cavill or whatever the hell his name is.
Henry Cavill. Yeah. Superman.
He's a very good Geralt. I really enjoyed him.
Cool.
But you haven't played the BioShock games yet. I know we've talked about this before, and I don't.
I've played the original one. I haven't.
You did? Okay.
I never finished the original one, but I played the original one. But yes, I haven't played a lot of the BioShock games. I have them all, but I haven't really played them.
You should definitely play through them. First one was my favorite, so if they do a really good job and either make some fantastic sets or do some really good CGI, kind of excited for this BioShock movie. So cool. Interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to stay tuned on what's going on with that.
Yep. Those of you that love the blue speeder Sonic the Hedgehog
Blue
2 isn't
Speeder.
quite. Is that what you call it? Blue speeder? I don't know. He's probably got a cooler name than that. So, but Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is not quite out yet. But we got some news that a third movie has been greenlit already. So that's pretty
Wow.
cool. I like the first movie. I thought it was pretty decent. Have you? Did you end up watching the first Sonic movie yet?
I did not actually. That's another
It's
one that I missed.
it's a fun one. I'm sure you got scared off by the initial 3D models of Sonic that were.
No, no. I just that it was one of those that like we were planning on seeing it in theater, but
Mhm.
we didn't get around to doing it before it left theater, and then we never ended up watching it beyond that.
Yep.
I still want to watch it.
Yeah.
It looks like it's good, and you guys told me it was good, so I
Yeah, it's a
trust.
lot of fun.
Yeah, I trust your opinion.
Yeah. So yeah, so not only was there a third movie greenlit, it looks like there's a TV series, and it's going to. It wasn't officially confirmed that it was a Knuckles series, but it will have Knuckles, who is being played by Idris Elba. So that could be
Mm.
pretty exciting. So maybe we'll get a Knuckles TV show there. That would be coming in 2023. So
That's kind of the new fad too, isn't it? Is to have spin-off TV shows of things.
yep,
Star Wars is doing it. Marvel is doing it. We can do it too with Sonic, right?
yeah.
It's coming to Paramount Plus though, so I already have low hopes.
I know. I mean, we've discussed this about video game launchers, but I'm getting to this point with like all these different TV subscriptions. I miss the days where it was just Netflix or Netflix and Hulu, and you found a buddy that you shared Netflix with them, and they
Mhm.
shared Hulu with you. Now it's like I want to watch this, this, and this. It's like, well, I don't have Apple, I don't have Peacock, I don't have Paramount, I don't have. It's like,
Yeah.
damn it.
You have to have like a coalition of people that each have one streaming service to give yourself like a cable package.
Yeah, essentially, right?
Yeah.
We all shifted to Netflix too. What was it? Cut the cord or whatever it was. Wasn't that it? What was the saying? And
Yeah.
now here we are back where we're getting 8 subscription services just to watch what we want. So
Mhm. On top of any of the live TV stuff, that's also a shit show.
yeah,
But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about video games.
yep, yep.
Uh,
In some Halo TV show news,
oh yes, this was controversial.
343 made some waves this week. Some pretty big waves this week, and now we've got. If the fan base wasn't divided already, they're definitely added more division
They
here.
put some gas on the flame
Yeah.
already.
It has been confirmed that in the Halo TV show that Master Chief's face will be shown. Now you're like, well, we already know who the actor is, so we know what it's
That's
going to look like. But I
that's
think
kind
a
of what I
lot of
was
it's
thinking too.
yeah. I think some of it though is just kind of the idea that, Master. It was just you never saw Master Chief's face, so um, I'm I'm not heated about this. I'm not like I hope the show's good. It's not me going, oh, but I hate the show now. But I'm definitely in the party where I wish they didn't show his face. So we'll see how it is.
So yeah, so I wanted to dive into this a little bit actually. So
Okay.
why why would they jump ahead and tell us that? That seems like something that you would wait for like a big reveal or something like that. I feel like what they did just now was kind of undermine the whole point of doing this. Like
Hmm.
it's supposed to be kind of like surprising and shocking that we're gonna see Master Chief's face for the first time, and it's gonna be holy hell, big reveal kind of a thing. But yeah, like, well, we already know what Pablo Schreiber's face looks like.
Yeah. And
Like,
it
yeah,
and
if you ever if you see him on Law and Order or The Wire, I guess, then yeah, you know what Master Chief already looks like. So
yeah,
congratulations. So I don't think it's gonna make. I guess I'm not really mad about it, but I'm also like I also don't think it's gonna do anything. It's not
yeah,
gonna like be impactful. Like we're gonna see Pablo Schreiber's face, and then it's gonna be like, okay, cool. He took the
yeah.
helmet off, just like, oh man, like when the Mandalorian took off his helmet, I wasn't expecting to see why
Yeah,
can't I remember his name?
yeah, I'm blanking on his name too.
Oh, blanking on his name right now. Anyway, um Pedro Pascal. That's what it is.
Right as it came up on the internet here. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We were just like, oh, I wasn't expecting it to look like Pedro Pascal. No way. He took
Yeah.
his helmet off. But then again, like there was some like with that, they actually never told you that he was going to take the helmet off.
Mhm.
You know, we were kind of guessing like would he, won't he, kind of a thing. And then there was also kind of some story element as to why he doesn't take the helmet off. With this one, it's just like who gives a shit if he takes the helmet off or not? Like, I mean, yeah, like it's kind of like a slap in the face to the what the people who make the games are doing, but we already know that this Halo show is going in a completely different direction than what the
Mhm.
games are. It's not canon as far as we know. Like it's not really, it's just kind of its own thing.
It's a different what they're calling it the silver timeline. So
Whatever the hell that means.
it's just yeah, it's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, so it's the okay, so it's the bullshit timeline, and then we just kind of do whatever the hell we want. And yeah, okay, cool. Take Master Chief's helmet off. Nobody's gonna care because you already spoiled it and you already said, "Hey, we're gonna take Master Chief's helmet off.
Mhm.
Look how awesome we are." And it's like, who gives a shit? Like,
Yeah, it's I think it kind of go I guess going down kind of your train of thought of like this kind of spoil to me if one I think in Halo generally when Master Chief takes his helmet off it's kind of going to be a big deal to anybody who's played Halo, right?
yeah,
And by telling us they're going to do it, one I think they're kind of trying to get all the rage out now instead of when it actually happens in the show, but it could also we I don't know why or when he's going to take his helmet off, but it could potentially take away from an important moment in the show as well and kind of undermine whatever emotion or story or whatever they're trying to portray there in whatever scene or scenes that he does that potentially like that was a big deal with Mandalorian, like it was a big deal he took his helmet off, right?
right.
Where here it's like maybe we'll who knows if they'll do the whole will they won't they storyline with his helmet, and then now if they were going to do it now it's like, well, we already know he's going to take his helmet off, so like he's spoiled it, thanks.
Yeah, I mean,
So
so yeah, there's no big reveal here. They just kind of jumped in front of us, like, by the way, we have confirmed that he does take the helmet
yeah,
off. Okay. I mean, as
yeah,
far as I know, like they never show his face. What if it's just the back of Pablo's head?
yeah.
He takes the helmet off and it's the back of his head, or it's his eyes, like in
In
the ending
Halo
to Halo
4,
4. Yeah,
or maybe that'd be a cool, like I think I'd start respecting hit 343 a little bit more if they did something along those lines, or like the end of Halo CE when he's in the longsword and
yeah. He
no,
just
we're just getting
conveniently
started,
covers
and they
his.
and they
Yeah,
start pulling his helmet off but the camera pans out and you can't see it. If they did that, I think I'd have to give 343 some credit for that, but I kind of doubt that. So
yeah, yeah. But yeah, because we know who the actor is,
yeah.
it doesn't really. It's not going to be super shocking like it would be in the games because we've never seen what Master Chief looks like in the game other than what he looks like as a kid.
Hmm.
So yeah, it'll be a big reveal when that eventually does happen. I'm assuming that they'll probably do that at some point, but it's probably cheaper just to not give him a face.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. We already mentioned about doing like a episode by episode review, so
I stand by it. I think we
we should
should. That
do
comes
that.
out later this month, right? That comes
Yeah,
out sometime this month. Yeah, we should. Is it going to be released on a week to week basis, or are they just going to dump all the episodes out?
I thought it was week to week. How are they doing Trek right now? Do you know?
I think it's week to week.
So I would assume. Yeah, I don't remember if I ever read that if they're doing week to week or not, but I'd assume maybe if the rest of their shows do week to week, then they would do week to week with Halo. But
Okay.
actually, I kind of hope that happens, but I don't know because then we could, unless you want to binge watch it and just do a million episodes. So
Oh, it'll be like what, 13, something like that. Like
yeah.
that's my guess, right? It's gonna be like I don't know much about the show in general. Like I don't know much about what like the statistics of the show. So I don't know if it's gonna be like is it gonna be like 13 45-ish minute runtime episodes, for on a week to week basis, or yeah, are they gonna just dump all episodes right in front of us and just let us binge it? My guess
Hmm.
is because it's really nice to keep subscribers on Peacock Plus, they're going to be doing it on a week to
Yeah.
week basis. It's going to be conveniently released so that you go 4, 8, and then a nice half of a month so that you get the full month subscription.
Hmm.
That's the way.
It's probably this is the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a little more information there on the Halo TV show. They found a showrunner for season 2. It is Fear of the Walking Dead's David, is it Weiner? I think. Anyways, the guy worked on
Yes.
Fear of the Walking Dead. So, um, yeah. So we'll
Yeah, I
have
was
him handle
surprised
it.
that they already got Greenland, or the season 2 was already ready to go. That they're ready to go for a season 2. Even like they don't know if this is going to bomb or not.
Yeah. Well, the
That
suits
or
all this.
they're really really confident that this is going to do very very well.
Yep. Yep.
So we'll
Hopefully
have
they're
to
team.
see.
Hopefully they're teaming up with, was it Chevy Tahoes to help promote this,
Yeah,
get the word out.
right.
But
They're going to need a lot of Chevy Tahoes to carry this one, I feel like.
mm-hmm.
Not to poo poo on it already. Like I'm not, I'm going to go into this kind of like ready to be disappointed, I feel like, but
Yeah, we don't mean to shit on Chevy Tahoes, so
yeah,
they're
exactly.
fantastic.
Yep. Yeah, they're
Ugh.
pretty nice.
So we knew this was coming, but we got a little bit more information on the Twisted Metal show, and not a lot, but it will be coming to Peacock. So there you go. You already know you got to add Peacock and Paramount to your subscription list.
Yeah.
I have not watched this show, but the showrunner is Cobra Kai's executive producer. I don't know if that show's any good, but hopefully that
Um
means
so yeah, so Cobra Kai got released onto Netflix,
yeah.
and the first couple seasons are pretty good.
I haven't.
Honestly, I like it. Like
Yeah,
it's super campy.
yeah,
It's super campy, especially like the fourth season gets into it and it just starts feeling like a series of Power Rangers episodes. Like it gets
yeah.
really silly. But they do like it's one of those shows that does a really nice job of blending the nostalgia with giving you something different to like that, so it's not just a regurgitated, Karate Kid part 1, 2, 3. Like
Mhm.
it's cool. No, I like it.
That's good. So that could be good news for the Twisted Metal show. Something that I picked out I thought was pretty awesome because I just recently watched this. The team behind Murderville on Netflix will be executive producing. It's like Will Arnett. If you haven't checked that show out, it's not video game related, but it's hilarious. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, that I kind of again, it sounds like from your description of Cobra Kai and then these guys from Murderville, it sounds like um, it could potentially make for a good team over there making these the Twisted Metal show.
I mean, I
So
hope so because like just this idea just sounds dumb. Like
yeah,
a Twisted Metal TV show sounds kind of stupid. We haven't had, I don't think, a mainline Twisted Metal game in like almost it's got to be close to 10 years now.
hmm
I don't know. Like, is it really the time to resurrect this franchise with a goofy TV show? Not to mention, like the game didn't have that much story to it. Like,
hmm
I don't know. I think
yeah.
this the you have a quote, and if you want to read off the description of the show.
Okay. Twisted Metal is about a motor mouth outsider offered a chance at a better life, but only if he can successfully deliver a mysterious package across post-apocalyptic wasteland. With the help of trigger-happy car thief, he'll face savage marauder driving vehicles of destruction and other dangers of the open road, including a deranged clown who drives an all too familiar ice cream truck. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know, man.
it sounds yeah,
It sounds
sounds
kind of dumb.
it could be interesting.
I think, yeah,
As
like,
someone who's never really played again, I doubt there was much of a story in the games, but I knew of the games, but never really
yeah,
played them a lot. Um, but it's gonna be interesting. Sounds like maybe a little bit they're trying to maybe do a little Mad Max stuff in there, and
yeah. Like my hope would be is that they don't take this too seriously, because I feel like if they take it seriously, it's gonna be lame, and then it's
yeah,
just gonna be super super cheesy. I think my hope is that they kind of lean into how stupid ridiculous this game was and is,
hmm
and kind of leverage that in terms of how they're going to tell the story, because I feel like that's the only way that's going to be really entertaining is if they make it like ridiculous. It's going to be like if it's like over the top gory or something like
Yeah.
that. Like they look at Squid Game and they're just like, hold my beer, crank it up to 11. Like, let's just see how ridiculous we can make the violence on this. Like,
Yeah.
then I'd be like, okay, like yeah, this is pretty twisted metal. Like, this is kind of cool, but
Again, I think by your description of the guy that did Cobra Kai, kind of being able to have fun and be respectful of the material it's based off of, and the guys that did Murderville, again, you'll have to watch that show if you haven't already. We could be in for something good here. We haven't even mentioned another good part about it. They brought the lead of the show is going to be the one and only Captain America, Anthony Mackie. So he'll be playing John Doe. Yes, I just watched Winter Soldier and Captain America or whatever it was, Falcon and
Falcon and the
Winter
Winter
Soldier.
Soldier,
Yeah,
yeah.
whatever that season. I actually just finished that up the other day. So little reference there, but I don't know. It could be interesting.
It could be interesting, but like I said, if they try to take it too serious and make it like, oh, it's got to be gritty and realistic, and it's got to be, there's got to be more meaning behind this. Like, piss
Try to make
off.
it more serious. And, yeah,
Yeah,
no.
just piss off. It's a game about blowing each other up in really ridiculous cars. There's a guy who's got his
Destruction.
arms. He's got his arms strapped to his wheel, like Axel, man. Like he's got his arms strapped to his wheels.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
Yep. I think it could be interesting. So we'll see. Again, the plot sounds dumb, but if it's just like all I'm asking for, like,
Yeah.
Doom isn't a good movie, but it's a good movie, right? It's fun. You're not there for something crazy and serious, this crazy, a great action movie or something like that. You're just in there for the fun and the goofiness, and they do it really good. If it's something along those lines, I'm all for it.
Do you need to
So.
specify because there are 2 Doom movies?
Sorry, do we really want to talk? Did you ever watch the second Doom? Was it Doom Annihilation?
I just saw the trailers for it, and I knew that was enough for me to want to peace out.
It's definitely one of those grab a bunch, not just grab a few, grab a bunch of beers, sit down with some buddies, and
just
have
make
a good
fun
laugh.
of it. Yeah.
Have a good laugh.
You give it the Mystery Science Theater treatment where you just rip it to shreds while you're watching it. Yeah.
It was rough.
I think that sounds like that'd be a good way to go about that movie. I mean, even to a degree, I'd say the other Doom movie that you're referencing is kind of on par with that kind of quality too.
No, that's one of those, like, grab a beer with some buddies and some pizza and have a good time watching it, right?
Sure.
But
that was also a movie that it took itself a little too seriously until the end of the movie.
Yep. Come on, that first person scene is fantastic.
Oh Lord. Oh man.
Which, by the way, if you didn't notice in the Halo TV show trailer from the other week, it's going to be interesting. It almost looked like we might get a FPS scene, or maybe even scenes. I don't know. Did you pick that out? There was a point where we were aiming down, a gun.
Oh, I didn't.
It was a quick second. You'll have to go back and watch. But
I only noticed the Chevy Tahoe in it. So
you're right. Oh, good times. Well, that's enough TV, right? Let's get into some actual games here. So, I think I can say this. Rich and I are not really Souls guys, but there was a big game that dropped in the last week. We're not deep diving into it. There's nothing crazy as far as the game that we have to talk about, but Elden Ring reviews came out, and this game is supposedly phenomenal. It's one of the highest rated games. And it kind of, how can we phrase this? It kind of brought up the question of, like, because of a Souls game, and those that aren't familiar with it, it's Souls games are generally brutal, and it kind of brought up the question of, like, when games are reviewed, and especially ones like this, like how much can you trust that score, right? Or I noticed on a couple different sites, people are, bought this game because it's getting such high reviews, but they didn't know what they were in for, right? Which, can kind of, I guess some people aren't going to be happy if they're spending $60 on a game that's supposed to be a 10 and it's not really a game for them, which kind of brought into question kind of like just kind of the games industry and how games are reviewed, which, a lot of times they're reviewed by fans and can kind of inflate the scores. I'm just curious kind of what your thoughts are on this, Rich.
That's a hard one, man. Like I feel like that's kind of a loaded question.
Yeah, right. um,
Um, I think so. I know that when the game first came out, it was getting some pretty negative reviews, or at least on Steam. And I
mhm,
mean, Steam's reviews are kind of aggregated as player reviews rather than just journos, which can be like can sometimes be a bit dubious if the game's journalists are going to actually
mhm,
be honest about the review. And I don't think we've had very much love for a lot of games reviews in general, or at
no,
least a lot of trust in it. Mainly because we do kind of joke about like, or at least I love making the joke that the IGN scale is between 9.5 and 10.
yeah. They adjusted it the I think last year. It's like 8.5.
Yeah, now it's 8.5 to 10. Yeah. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like that's kind of a big box to unpack if we,
Mhm,
we're going to talk about games journalism and how much should a games journalist be expected to play. I mean, I know it's kind of their job and everything. If they're going to do a review
mhm.
for a game, I would prefer that they play the whole thing and give me a
Yep.
really like in-depth review on if this is something that I would like.
Yeah.
But that's why I turn to a lot of like YouTubers. Like I do watch a lot of things like Angry Joe or the Act Man or
Mhm.
even Donkey to a degree. Like
Yeah.
I like watching that stuff because I know that they actually go through and play it. You
Yep.
know,
Instead of trying to kind of hit a, embargo date, right,
yeah, they're
and
instead of
rush
trying
through it,
right, and that's
especially
just not enough time.
pre-release. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
if you're
and
gonna try
and
and cram through a game in, like a day and a half or 2 days or something like that, whenever you get your review copy. I mean, I know that Angry Joe does. I mean, I would love to ask him about this and just see if, like, when he does get review copies of games, like how hardcore does he have to sit down and pound through these games?
Mhm.
But if he's given the time to actually go through, and he does a lot of production behind his reviews as well, like he does
Yeah.
a lot of the skits, which I think are pretty funny.
Yeah.
But I think that that's something that a lot of games journalists don't
Mhm.
do, and I don't know. I guess my thought would be is if you really want to give me a really good review and you want me to trust your review, well then yeah, you need to play through the whole game. Or you need
Yeah.
to play through the game to a point at least that you can just say, "Oh yeah, the first 5 minutes are great." Well, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of games that do that, right? They kind of give you the old bait and switch where the first few minutes of a game are godly because that's what the reviewers are going to play, and then after that it's just absolute trash and then doesn't work, and it's the story doesn't make sense anymore and
Yeah.
it feels unfinished because that's all they wanted to show the reviewers.
It's, if anybody wants to know or play a very good game that kind of shows how a lot of times I don't know if they did this on purpose. I'm guessing they just kind of ran up against time crunch, but that slowly gets less and less polished as the game goes is Dead Island, the first Dead Island.
Hmm.
One is one of my favorites, but I'll admit the the hotel resort area is really nice, really polished. Also, by the way, this is like a 12-year old game, so right, our standards are probably a little higher now. But you get into the city area, you start seeing some little cracks here and there. You get into the forest area, and you're like, okay, you're starting to see floating trees here and there if you go too far off the path. And then you get into the prison area and it's like just empty, right? Like, and it's a again, I speak very highly of it. It's a fun game, but it's definitely one of those games where early on it's very polished experience, as far as least levels and the visuals, but kind of slowly towards the end falls off. But yeah, I think some of the kind of the unique situation too with Elden Ring, potentially too, is what it sounds like is a lot of people play these games on their their free time, right? And um, for a Souls type game, it's probably a little easier to maybe take something like, because we like it, Halo, and just getting anybody to play it, right? On their free time. Sure, it's a Halo. It's a little low bar of entry type situation where, if you try to get somebody that's never played a Souls game to review a Souls game on their free time when there's a strict deadline, they're probably not going to take that on, and you're going to give it to a fan, right? Which then kind
Yeah.
of will most likely drive up the score and kind of make the average a little bit off. Again, I'm not trying to shit on Elden Ring. It looks like a fantastic game, and all my friends that are playing it are just like, "This is great. You should play it." I'm like, I'm not a Souls guy. I think they know
Yeah.
so,
And I
um,
mean, and on the flip side, that kind of goes the same way for the reviewer too. I mean, like
yeah,
we kind of poked fun at it, but I mean, yeah, if you have a review, like I think this came about a bit when Ghost of Tsushima came out, when Cuphead came out, when people were kind of poking fun at games journalists because they would say like the game is bad because they can't make it past like the first like 5 minutes of the game or something
yep,
like that, and it's just kind of makes you question makes you question how legit the review actually is.
mhm,
Um, yeah, that's a hard one.
yeah.
Like
But
how do you balance it between being like say you're a diehard fan of Halo, and no matter what you do or no matter what happens, every Halo game is going to be immaculate to you. So you're gonna go in, you're gonna review Halo Infinite or whatever, and you're gonna say, "Yep, it's perfect, 10 out of 10, easy peasy."
mhm,
But then somebody else is gonna come and be like, "Well, this isn't. You said this was going to be an amazing game, and I didn't get that out of this." So to me, that I mean, is it just a difference of opinion at that point, or should games journalists try to be more objective than just
yep,
fanboying over something that they really like and saying it's perfect or whatever?
mhm.
You know?
I think you had a lot of good feedback there, though. Is like, and I do this too. You find either sites is probably too broad. Maybe people at sites or content creators that you like, streamers, and really kind of that hey, we have similar opinions, and like you, me, if you recommend a game to me and I recommend the game to you, we're
Right.
probably like, oh, it probably is actually really good because we have similar interests. So, that's what I would recommend is find people, hopefully the Campfire Gaming Podcast,
Yeah.
um,
Exactly.
and you go, hey, they're pretty good, and and I kind of align with a lot of like what games they do and don't like. So if they say something's good or something's bad, kind of lines with whether I'll like it or not. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. And I mean, you make a good point too. Is that you really have to pick and choose. You have to kind of figure out who the reviewers are that you really trust and kind of lean in that corner. I mean, if it's somebody like I said, I follow somebody like Angry Joe. He doesn't play a lot of games on like a super hardcore level, but he and I have, from the type of games that he seems to enjoy, what he streams and all that, I have very similar tastes. Like I'm into stuff like shooters and Warhammer and, like all that kind of stuff. So I kind of trust his opinion when he goes through and he actually plays it. Now, granted, yeah, like I like the fact that he goes and he plays a very thorough playthrough of the game and then does a review. And so I appreciate stuff like that. So that's why I don't go to things like gaming journalism websites and whatever and just say, hey, like I just kind of want to rip a review off of online some website and say, well, they liked it, so that must mean it's an okay game, right?
yep,
Yeah, you have to be pretty
pretty picky.
you have to be kind of picky when it comes to selecting something for your reviews, or whether you're interested in the opinion of someone like a journalist or something like that. Now, I think that stuff like the Steam's reviews lists, like those aggregates
Hmm.
of like people who have played this, are good for maybe not necessarily people who are interested in the genre or something like that, because these are a lot of these people could be fans, right?
Yep.
And that's all really dependent, but it does help point out problems. Like, for example, um, Elden Ring, even on Steam, had, I believe, when it first came out, had kind of some mixed reviews. Big reason for that is that the game had a lot of technical issues when it first came out, so a lot of people were bumping into crashes and
Hmm.
latency and a bunch of problems like that. That can help sway people, as well as like if you're looking at like an early access game and you see, oh, there's a lot of mixed reviews or something like that, that'll get me to look into those reviews and see, oh, like they're complaining about this problem in this game over here is pay to win, and this game has breakages and it's barely functional. And
Hmm.
you have to really get you have to collect a lot of information about games that you kind of want to make purchases on. And then I think that's probably the smartest way to go about it, rather than just taking a
Yep.
review. But you should be listening to the Campfire Gaming Podcast
Yeah.
only because all of our reviews are
Yeah.
are spot on.
We'll have to. Well, maybe what we can do is maybe in the future we can get Mike to hop on, and I know he's playing through Elden Ring, and get his opinion. This way, all you Souls fans can get a good review from a Souls fan here on Campfire Gaming
Oh
Podcast.
yeah, I'm sure he would love to. gush about Elden Ring for a while.
Yeah. But yeah, so cool. Any other thoughts there
No,
for
I
that?
think
That was kind of a potentially yeah, like you said, deep topic, kind of a
yeah,
loaded question, and yeah.
yeah. Because I mean, like we could get into the like. I mean, it really is a There's no real, probably no real right answer there.
Hmm.
Other than probably collecting a lot of information is better than just like picking out a review and be like,
Or
that's
the flood of tens, nines, and 5 out of 5s or four.
mm-hmm.
That this is getting. It's
Right.
for something like this, if you're a Souls fan, that's probably all accurate for you. But if you're just somebody that's like, I don't know what a Souls game is, this looks cool. It's got J.R.R. Martin attached to it. I'm gonna go buy it.
J.R.R. Martin.
Well, it's George R. Right? Yeah, J. George, whatever. G. I don't know, man. It's Monday. It's not Monday. It's actually Tuesday.
George
uh,
R.R. Tolkien wrote this book.
George.
Yeah.
Yeah, George. There's a Wasn't that how George in Halo Reach he spelled his name? I think Spartan George,
Yes,
Jorge.
that is
Anyways,
true. That is true.
but cool. So I don't know if I should be excited about this next bit or not. I've never really been into this thing, but it sounds like a lot of people are excited about it, so we're going to talk about it. Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet got
Pokemon.
announced. Got announced this week. It's coming late 2022. And it kind of announced some of their starter Pokemons, which sounds important. Again, from somebody who hasn't played the game or played Pokemon games before. Is this something you can kind of dig into and kind of explain, Rich?
To be honest, not really, because I haven't played a Pokemon game in a very, very long time. All that we can see is that this is going to be another mainline Pokemon game that was revealed. What was it, over the weekend? It's like
Yep.
Sunday or something like that. Yeah. Yep. They had. I think Nintendo had their own sort of Pokemon Direct that they were showcasing, and
Yep.
this was revealed during that. So if
Yep.
you're interested in Pokemon and you're excited for, hang on, Generation 9,
Yep.
the 9th generation of Pokemon, then I'm sure you are looking forward to something like this.
Yeah.
Again, this will probably, I mean, it'll be on Nintendo Switch, obviously, just like Arceus and a lot of the other mainline Pokemon titles before it. So,
Yep. No, this is exciting news, I think, for Pokemon fans. Where's Mike when you need him? But on that note, I wanted to point out that we were right 2
we're
episodes
always right.
ago. We're always right. That's
Yeah.
why you should listen to us.
I hate being right all the time, actually.
Yep, it's a curse, honestly. It's a
Mm-hmm.
curse. But we chatted a couple 2 episodes ago about the mysterious Capcom countdown.
Mm-hmm.
Rich thought it was going to be a Street Fighter thing, and I said whatever it is, it's going to release on June 24th, which is a Friday. And although not, I guess you could say not 100% correct, we were kind of half and half correct, because it wasn't. This was due to the fact that they announced 2 games, not 1. So we were right in one case and right in another, but not right. Yeah, anyways, we'll get into it. So they announced Street Fighter 6.
Yep.
So
That was my
that's
win.
Yep, that was Rich's win. And then along with that, to celebrate, oh shoot, I didn't write it down here. Was it the 30th anniversary of fighting games? The Capcom Fighting Collection, which that's being released on June 24th. So that's where I was right.
There's your 624. Yeah.
So,
Well
so
done, us. High
yeah,
five. Virtual high five, man.
yeah, good job, good job. We did it. Yeah, so that's kind of exciting. Again, unfortunately, I'm not quite of a fighting game fan, but Street Fighter's been huge since, what was that, 90? I don't remember. 90? Would that be 92? So
Probably.
something like that, because it was 30 years. So yeah, it'd be about 92 because it's 2022. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, is it? Have you played any of the recent Street Fighter games?
I have not in a while, but I do have Street Fighter 5.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not like super, like, I'm not like hardcore into it. I'm not like, I don't like play competitively or anything like that. The only game I play competitively is Halo, but yeah, they're fun. Street Fighter. I don't think I've ever played I don't think any of the Street Fighter games are terrible.
hmm Again, it's one of those things. I think I played some Street Fighter 2 and 3 growing up, but it was always at friends' house, and they always kicked my ass, and it was always just like, yeah. And honestly, that's a big reason why I'm not into fighting games.
Yeah. I mean, maybe this is controversial, but I was more of a Mortal Kombat guy than a Street Fighter
Ooh,
guy. Yeah.
hot take here.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah, I remember those days. People that were Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter,
Yeah. Yeah, I
the
like
classic.
like when you play those in the arcades and stuff. Yeah, that was good
Yeah,
times.
it's always fun. But yeah, so it's coming. It looks the trailer they released with it showed that a lot of the models were in 3D. So people, it's kind of a cinematic in a way. So people are speculating they're kind of moving away from the ink brush style that I believe was in what they used in 4 and 5, back to 3D. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on there. The Capcom Fighting Collection. I'll be honest, none of these rang a bell. I don't recognize any of these. Do you recognize any of the 10 games that are going to be coming with the Campfire Capcom Fighting Collection?
Nope.
We'll just kind of whiz
Nope. I
down
don't
through
remember any of them.
Darkstalkers, Night Warriors, Vampire Savior, Vampire Hunter, Vampire Savior, Red Earth, Hyper Street Fighter 2, Super Puzzle Fighter 2, Super Jam Fighter, Cyberbots. I can't believe that out of all 10 of those games, again, I'm not big into fighting, but usually you kind of hear about the big ones. I'm not saying that these aren't big ones, but I've never heard of any of these. So it's goes to show you how little I know about fighting games. So,
Mm-hmm.
but but yes, so that'll be coming out on June 24th. If you're a fighting game fan, especially the camp from Capcom, I'm guessing this is exciting news for you.
There we go.
So I think this was also 2 weeks ago. We chatted about how Nintendo was perfectly fine with the studios and everything that they do. They were just going to keep on Nintendoing.
But wrong.
They lied to us. Nintendo acquires Sega. No, I'm just kidding. They acquired SRD or SRD Co. Limited, right? That's LTD, right? Is that limited? LTD?
LTD, yes, yeah, that's
Yeah.
limited.
So they've been actually a long time developer with Nintendo, dating back to some of the older Mario and Zelda games. So they picked them up the other week. Even though, as far as I understand, they've basically been working with Nintendo since it was like '79, I think it was. So it's been a long relationship, but they acquired them. No other big news out of there. Again, I'm guessing they're just gonna essentially kind of keep on keeping on. And in a way, I think this kind of aligns with what Nintendo talked about the other week. Again, technically, SRD wasn't part of the Nintendo family, but they've been so closely tied in a way. Nintendo said, we're just going to invest in our teams and our games. To me, this is, again, yeah, they're acquiring them, but this is a studio that has been with them for forever. So, right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Systems Research and Development Company is what SRD is.
there you go.
I didn't know that, so I had to look it up quick.
But yeah, so good news from them. A new studio from former CD Projekt Red devs. We see a lot of this lately, and I think we're kind of happy about this. We're excited about a lot of these devs popping up. We've chatted about a few Blizzard ones, and I think BioWare ones popping up. Former people.
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, you had what people from Dice, BioWare, Blizzard. You have now you have people from CD Projekt Red. Like you have developers from these well-known studios who are breaking out and just forming their own smaller studios because, like I keep saying, there is no reason to have massive publishers like EA and Activision. Like you don't need them anymore. Like this truly is like one of the best times to be indie, right? This
Mm-hmm.
is the tools out there are easy to get. It's, you have tons and tons of talent out there that's getting burnt out, overworked, and it's sucky product at the end of the day. So it's like, cool. Let's just build games we want to build and have fun doing it.
You mean you don't like putting 70, 80 hours in a week for very little pay to release Battlefield 2042?
No, I can't say I've ever done that because I've never
By the way,
released.
I'm not purposely, like, I respect the developers that made that game. Again, I can guarantee you that everything that's bad about that game was more out of their hands. more executive management level decisions that just, yeah. So
I
no
agree.
disrespect to the developers, but
Right. But
the product was shit.
it is, yeah, it is what it is. And we
Yeah.
got what we got. And I'm sure that there are plenty of people who could do a better job without less or with less interference. Because
Yep.
that's what, as these sort of AAA companies have grown so big, like it's just interference. It's just bureaucracy and problems that just keep coming up and they keep ruining our favorite games. So, you know, screw the bureaucracy. Just go make a goddamn game. That's all that they want. That's all the devs want to do, man.
Yeah.
They just want to make some cool games and have fun. And
Yep. To speak positive of the Dice devs, I'll bet you if they made the game they wanted to make,
it'd be kick ass.
it'd probably
Yeah.
yeah, kick ass. Yeah, but we've been chatting about this new studio. We haven't mentioned what it is. It's called Rebel Wolves Studio. They will be working on a new RPG game, and their big thing they wanted to call out, and I'm sure this is due to the last couple of years and all the news around, crunch and and well, people coming from CD Projekt Red who probably worked on Cyberpunk. They were talking about in their announcement how they're going to be putting the team first all the time, which we'll see how that pans out. Kind of like how that actually plays out. But that's good news from them that they're probably going to worry more about their employee health uh, than trying to hit a date with a broken game.
Right. And then having to switch from this feature to this feature. And,
Hmm.
you need to make sure you include some of these. And you need to make sure that you need to do this. And, well, we got to have microtransactions. It is got to be a live service after all. Like you just, no.
I'm excited for. Obviously, it's not going to be Witcher, but like a witch,
It's going to
probably
be a
Witcher
Western.
style. A
Yeah.
good RPG.
It'll be a Western style RPG, which is
Yeah.
good. That's fine. Great. I can't wait to see what they can do. I'm excited for I am excited for all of these smaller studios that have
Hmm.
come from larger companies to make stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I feel we're going to get like like from the Blizzard people, like a Warcraft or a Starcraft or something along those. Obviously, it's not going to be those IPs, but we're going to get back to those good quality. Maybe a Diablo type stuff. I don't remember if we talked about those Blizzard guys if they announced what games they're making. Here we'll
Palia
get
is one of them. It's kind
yeah.
of like that Animal Crossing sort of like very comfy, like the super comfy MMO.
Hmm.
I know that is coming from a bunch of I believe that is coming from a bunch of Blizzard developers. That's underway.
Yep. And getting a good Western RPG out of these guys, but yeah, to your point, yeah, with all of that other bullshit that's usually forced into games when you're working with the big publishers. So,
Good luck, guys. Wish you the best of luck.
yep. Well, you've had like 12 years for one, and like 17 for another, or something like that. If you haven't picked up your Wii U and 3DS games from the Nintendo eShop, you better do that now. They are closing the Wii U and 3DS eShops late. Oh, that's this. No, that's next year. I was like late this month. I was like, oh shit, I got scared for a
March
second. No,
next year.
March next year, March 2023. So you got
Yeah.
about a year to pick up any games there from the Wii U and the 3DS library before those shops are closed down.
I don't think I've turned on my 3DS in like 6-7 years.
Yeah, I think this is one of those like I saw a little bit when this was first announced. It seemed like a lot of people weren't happy about it. Like it's good to always have that available if you wanted to pick something up, but to an extent, like it's just been around so long, it's probably more trouble than it's worth, or more money than it's worth to keep running.
Hey, as
Um,
as two people who have worked in software and know what it's like to support legacy
yep.
systems, it's okay to sunset your software. Like
Yes.
that is totally fine. Like
At a
and
certain
much
point, you need
prefer
to.
and yes, and it is preferable to not keep that thing limping along for another 15-20 years. Yes, it is
Just
that is okay. I'm sure that they like this gives more of a case for Nintendo to just release more
mhm,
of this stuff on their own online shop or something like that to give
yep.
us a better service.
And I'm sure it'll probably be harder for some popular games, but I'm sure a lot of these can be found at your local, game shops. Especially like if you have a retro one around you or on eBay and things like that. So again, these are the older systems, so there's going to be physical copies of them as well. So,
Mhm.
but go get those games.
Go get your stuff
if you
before
haven't
you
already.
can't get it anymore. Yeah.
Some good news out of NVIDIA, hopefully. It sounds like the supply constraints around, getting, I almost said ingredients, getting materials to create things like graphics cards is kind of easing. So hopefully, they're thinking the second half of 2022, we should start seeing a little bit more of the graphics cards and other things, other products from NVIDIA
Yay.
around. I'm hoping I've been
You can buy
really wanting.
yourself your 3080.
Yeah, I want to buy a 3000 card, but now it's been long enough that I'm getting the itch to just build a whole new computer.
Same.
So, yeah. So hopefully this is true. Hopefully prices aren't insane. And hopefully I can have the money here in the second half of 2022 or early 2023 to
Build yourself
build
a
a new rig.
build a fancy dancy new rig. That'll
Yep.
be nice.
Yep. So exciting there. So one thing too to note is NVIDIA did point out that it appears miners, so like crypto miners, are becoming less of a factor. They saw sales of crypto specific cards drop by quite a bit from last fiscal year to the first or this last quarter that they reported on. Is that their first quarter?
So
Technically,
it's cooling off a
yeah.
bit.
So, um, so again, something else. Not only the supply chains kind of easing up, but also hopefully all the crypto miners they're probably not done buying cards, but hopefully not buying up all of them.
Yes. That would be nice. Please stop buying all the stuff that I want to buy.
Rich, tell me how happy you are about this next topic.
Oh, you have no idea.
You're
And
very passionate about this stuff.
yes, as soon as I saw this article, okay, the Bethesda .net launcher is going away. Thank you. Awesome.
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna get that out of the way. When I saw this article pop up, the only thing that I was like thinking about was like another one bites the dust. Yeah.
Yep.
That's all I was thinking about. Another one bites the dust. And I'm hoping another one goes down and Origin goes down. Another one bites the dust.
See, I don't see Origin going down.
No, because it
Or
is going to go down because they just call it EA launcher or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yes. The Bethesda launcher is going away. It's getting shut down in May, and you'll be able to migrate your games and wallet to Steam. Yay! Starting in April. So if you were unfortunate enough to buy something on the Bethesda launcher, you can start migrating that to Steam, which is great because I'm hoping that if this Activision Blizzard thing goes through, that we'll be able to do the exact same thing for the Blizzard launcher as well. That would
Yep.
be sick. That would be so
Would be
sick.
nice.
Yes.
One thing to note too, they said some of the saves will transfer, but there might be some, I'm guessing, older games that you might have to manually transfer yourself. But yeah, like you said, it's really cool that the games and hopefully it's real smooth, and it's like hopefully it's just kind of like sign into your account, hit a button, and bam, all your games show up in Steam and Wallet.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of curious. This got me thinking: if the Activision Blizzard thing goes through, like Microsoft does have their own store. I'm curious if they're just gonna like shut down all these things and move it into Steam, or now that they have such a large library, if they might just they're shutting down Bethesda launcher. Maybe they'll keep the BattleNet launcher up, and then now they'll start like maybe that'll become Microsoft's launcher essentially. Or like who knows?
I
It's
don't
gonna be.
know.
I'm just kind of curious and interested in it. If obviously Microsoft has been playing nice with Steam recently, but I'm
Right.
curious if they're gonna, because they're still going to want their own launcher, their own marketplace, because they're going to make more money that way.
But when it's like these small launchers like this, it just doesn't need to
Yeah,
exist. I mean, and that's all the Activision Blizzard one is too. Is it's just like 6 games.
yep.
It's just a tiny library of stuff, and it's like, well, if that goes through, I mean, they could just dissolve the launcher, and then again, we shrink it down into you can have it on Steam, you can have it on Game Pass or the whatever the Xbox app is.
It's a shitty app.
Yeah, God
Microsoft.
forbid I am never buying anything on the Windows Store. Sorry, Microsoft, but this is the one place where I will not go.
They do a lot of good stuff, and there's sometimes some good ideas in those things. But I actually use if I
But the
use
Windows
anything,
Store was not one of them.
yeah, or their Xbox Game Pass app or whatever it is. I actually have an older app for Xbox stuff if I want to do it on my computer. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Do you remember how much
Um,
complaining I did when I was trying to do all of the stuff with the like the Windows game bar
Game bar.
stuff with Halo
Yeah.
Infinite's technical tests? Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. That was
It's just,
awful.
I still use the Xbox console companion, which is actually very awesome because it allows me to uh, create a Xbox party chat and connect up on my PC and connect up to Xbox players. So,
Right.
nothing new and groundbreaking, but it's convenient for someone who can, with the switch of an HDMI, have it hooked up to my computer or my TV, and being able to just yeah, it's good
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
But no, it'll be. I'm just curious if Microsoft is going to continue to try to maybe again, like you said, it's small, but it's a little bit more well known and polished experience on the BattleNet launcher. I'll be curious if like they try to keep that around or if they just shut that down and roll everything into Steam. I mean, they should, but
I mean,
it'll
I
be
think that
interesting.
they probably want to keep around the BattleNet infrastructure because there's a lot of work that goes on behind the
Hmm.
scenes of that BattleNet, like the underneath the hood of the not just the launcher, but the whole BattleNet system that they
Yep,
have at Blizzard. I mean, I guess that they're going to keep that around because that's probably pretty valuable. But the launcher, you have so many places to be able to install that game now. There's no reason to have an extra launcher to just install yet more games.
yep, yeah. But we'll have to wait and see. We still need that acquisition to go through to see what happens to
Yeah, that's
all that
not
stuff.
done yet. That ain't done yet. But yeah, part of me kind of hopes it does.
We need Microsoft to just buy Ubisoft and EA, and then we can shut down those launchers.
Yep, exactly.
Please don't.
That's not scary at all.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Um,
Please don't be acquired, EA and Ubisoft. But
but we could get another launcher with this next story that we're going to be bringing up.
yeah, this is kind of like I need like a demented sound effect for this. I don't know if I have it, so we'll just play the regular one. The we're getting a little bit more kind of information on PlayStation's Game Pass.
But it's not
Um,
called Game Pass.
yeah, I call it that. So this comes from VentureBeat's Jeff Grubb. Reportedly, it's called Project Spartacus. I know we've talked about this once before, but I don't think we've
Mm-hmm.
ever got this level of information. Um,
Right.
it sounds like it's going to be a 3-tiered system, so kind of not, it's similar to Microsoft. There's this, well, they've kind of got 3 tiers, but it's more like separated between Xbox, PC, and then if you just want everything with Ultimate. So, um, but this kind of sounds interesting. Again, hopefully it works out good because we love Game Pass. So if there's a PlayStation version of it, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that that's definitely something that they should do. Right? That's
Hmm.
something that they're going to need to do to keep competitive in lockstep with Microsoft because it
Yep.
is just a really good offering.
Yep. So the three different tiers. Again, these aren't official, but this is kind of, well, actually, we don't know if they're official. This is just coming from Jeff Grubb. But they're called Essential, Extra, and Premium, and they will be priced at $10, $13, and $16. Again, this is just all kind of rumored or leaked, so this can definitely change. Um, it sounds like for the premium subscription, it's going to be very much focused on like classic games, which would be fantastic having PlayStation, 1 through 4 games on there. Um,
This was something
y-
that we were talking about actually. Like if you like for you the listener go way way back into like
mhm,
one of our earliest episodes. We actually talk about this at one point where we were talking about there was a service revolving around PlayStation Plus where we were mentioning something like this that it would be really cool to have classic games available for PlayStation to have like a, PlayStation 1 through 4 availability and just
mhm,
let me play all of the games, like just let me play all that stuff and I would pay
mhm.
money for it and I stand by that today.
Yep.
Yeah, I would totally do that.
We begged PlayStation and Nintendo to do that,
Yeah, that was over 2 years ago that we were
Yeah.
asking for this. So thank you for
Yep.
listening, PlayStation. We love
Yeah,
you.
so it sounds like the premium will have classic games, game trials. I'd assume that's probably for like newer games, release
Could be. Yep.
games,
Yep.
and then a streaming. So potentially like a cloud streaming or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
The extra tier would have downloadable game catalogs, similar, basically, kind of like, it almost sounds like PS Now, right? Along
Right.
with, just a regular PlayStation Plus subscription. So that's, I think, from when we chat about it last, there's like 200 to 300 games on PlayStation Now that you can access. So that would not include cloud streaming. Um, so that would be kind of, and I think it. Let me see. I don't think it includes the classic games either. I think it's just the what you get with PS Now.
So
Again,
we'll have
all this
to
could change. This is all
yeah,
just.
we're gonna have to keep an eye on that one.
Mhm. Uh, the essential tier is essentially what you get now with PS Plus. So your online play, your cloud saves, and your free couple games a month, right? Um, so yeah, so hopefully, I mean, like, hopefully there's a little bit more to this, and I hope this gets announced soon because this is pretty exciting. I don't know if I'd pick it up. Again, I'd wait to see kind of what's really included in at least the extra and the premium tier. Um, but I think this is overall good news if most or all of this is true, especially the classic games part.
Mhm.
The only thing that I feel I remember is it Jim Ryan, the CEO now. I feel I remember him mentioning that they probably wouldn't ever do day one releases for their first party studios. Obviously, that could change, but it'll be interesting if they kind of match Microsoft in that with this PlayStation, this Project Spartacus, and if they actually launch, you know, God of War Ragnarok day one on this service.
That'd be so
That,
sick.
I mean, it's stuff like that as reasons why I would probably look at subscribing to it. Right?
Exactly.
It's a
Especially if you
big.
get like a nice offering on PC too, because PlayStation has been doing such a good job with trying to keep up with
Mhm.
making their releases PC compatible as well.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I would have both of these, both PlayStation and Xbox Game Pass for sure.
Yep. So hopefully more like solid information comes out of that. This hopefully an official announcement sometime soon, because this is exciting and definitely looking forward to it.
Me too. Yeah, I can't wait to hear more about this.
Yep. That's kind of most of our meat and potatoes, but we got a few little snacks here left for you. Some kind of
I love
quickies.
snacks.
Yep, I do too. I love snacks. I eat way too much, but
Speaking of snacks,
yeah,
Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll is now on the Switch. So I'm
Yay.
not a big anime person, but I know
Yeah.
this is a popular app and site. So good
Mhm.
news for people that want to watch anime on Switch.
Yep. You now have access to all your anime on Switch.
The PlayStation mobile app has now been updated to upload screenshots and videos under 3 minutes long automatically to the cloud that they can be accessible from this app. Very similar to how Xbox does. Actually, one of the good features about the app is that you can access your clips from there. Downside here is these screenshots and videos will only stay on the cloud for 14 days. That's kind of the only
Interesting.
downside.
Yeah.
It is also PS5 only. So again, it's really cool. I mean, I don't know the last time I really just like hanging out with people like, let me pull up my screenshots or videos from last year, but being able to have another way of accessing your photos and videos other than putting a USB drive into your PlayStation is exciting and good
Right.
news.
Right. Or having to record directly onto a computer or like a capture card or something like that.
Yep. So
Neat.
good news there. Twitch is on Xbox. And you say, Matt, it's already on Xbox. No, it's actually in the guide now. So it's easier to start streaming through your Twitch account from your Xbox. So you can it's just another like, what's the tab called? Whatever. You hit the Xbox button. It's their share. What the hell's that tab called? Anyways, where you go to look at your screenshots and stuff like that. You now have access to connect up to Twitch and just start streaming, pause, start, stop, all that stuff right from there. So makes it a lot easier than switching between apps like you have to now.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Wow.
A little bit of news on Skull and Bones. I know we touched on this the other week, but I guess about a week or two ago we started getting a lot of quarterly and fiscal year reports and all that BS from different companies. And through that, we found that Ubisoft is going to be releasing Skull and Bones between April of 2022 and March of 2023.
That's a big
So
window.
yeah, basically, it's probably for the investors to say, "Hey, it's releasing sometime in our next fiscal year."
Mm-hmm.
With that, we got a little bit more information from CFO. Oh, I'm gonna push it. Frederic Duguay. I don't know. I'm sorry, Frederic. Um, but he says it's a
I'm not going to
promising.
try and say that, but I'll let you step on that landmine.
Yeah. He says it's a very promising new IP focusing on multiplayer first, so very consistent with our strategy to bring multiplayer competition and co-op first in big open world with great attractive fantasy. So it's kind of a little bit of we get a little information there because um, we've had very little information in general with this game, but there was supposed to be some sort of like kind of single player co-op aspect to this game, but it definitely sounds more like it's probably moving towards the awful live service spectrum and multiplayer only. So, or in some form of that.
Yeah.
So, um,
It's Ubi Sea of Thieves.
yeah, right. Exactly. I was kind of thinking that too. So, but yeah, so yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, we get a little bit more news. We're starting to get towards the springtime, which means I know E3 is kind of weird, but we're getting to the game show season, so probably get some more,
Couple
hopefully,
months. Yep.
news spring and summer.
Right on.
Jeff Grubb's back in the news here again. Speaking with from VentureBeat, supposedly there were talks at Microsoft about a Fallout New Vegas 2. If you remember, Fallout New Vegas was made by Obsidian,
Yep.
who now is owned by Microsoft.
Yep.
Fallout is owned by
Bethesda
or ZeniMax, who now is also under Microsoft. So I guess
Mm-hmm.
there's been like
The
very, very
opportunity
early
is
talks.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so that's really all there is to that announcement. That there's just sounds like there's some early talks on this. So if this does become a thing, we're looking probably minimum 3 years out,
Right.
right?
This isn't an announcement. This is just kind of rumblings.
Yeah, like probably just a bunch of executives or designers or whatever project managers
They're
over
just
there going,
pitching
hey,
the idea.
hey,
Yeah.
you want to do this? Yeah, I think we should do this. Cool. All right, let's go.
Yep.
So Fallout New Vegas released the first one released in 2010. So yeah. And to our last bit of news, which is actually really exciting news. It's not a lot. Again, we're in the shorts area, but this is really cool. We talked about this, I think, way back in December about how Forza Horizon 5 has done a lot with the accessibility features and including a lot of games do this, right? And
Yeah.
it's exciting. It's really awesome to bring all these different people, no matter how you play, to bring in and enjoy video games.
Mm-hmm.
And this week they announced, well, sorry, I think they announced it before, but they finally released it, was the addition, and I think this is the first for any video game, the addition of ASL and BSL, so American Sign Language and British Sign Language, into the game. So you have the ability to kind of essentially add
Signing.
like
Yeah.
sign a little video of somebody signing the cinematics and other part of the game. So it's really exciting, and I think a really cool thing that's happening in our industry with a lot of companies and studios doing things like this. So
Right. Especially when they have. I think when we were talking about this, it was during the Game Awards. I think
yeah, I think Game
because
Awards.
they give away awards for improving on accessibility options
Yep.
now. Which I mean, like you see some like even last year. I know that we were memeing on it because I think The Last of Us 2 won last year's accessibility options as well.
Yep.
But just seeing some of the tech that goes into some of this stuff
Yep.
is ridiculous, and it's awesome. It's
Yep.
it's actually really cool. So kudos to the Forza team for making something
Yep.
really neat like this.
Yep. Kudos to Playground Game. That's awesome. And obviously any other game that kind of includes a lot of this stuff. Yeah, to your point, I think Last of Us had trying to remember, that's about a year and a half ago now. They had a lot of, I remember reading up on some of the stuff in there. Most of it, like, I don't understand, mostly to not being terribly familiar with a lot of the disabilities and why to have this kind of whatever setting in there. But, it's really cool. So it's just really cool the industry's moving this way. Props to Playground Games. But I think that's kind of the end of our long list of topics here. Rich, is there anything else we missed? Anything else you want to chat about?
No, I think I think we nailed it this week, Matt. I'm just
You don't
gonna
want to
toot.
talk more TV?
No, I think we're gonna be talking about that a lot when we start watching the Halo series.
I'm excited for that.
I
It's
think
going to be
so.
fun.
Yeah. Regardless if it's good or not, we're gonna have a good time.
Exactly.
That is guaranteed.
Hmm. Well, be sure to visit us at campfiregamingpodcast.com, where you can find links to all of our socials: YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, our Discord. Again, come chat with us. Also, as a reminder, our book club game of March is Beyond Good and Evil. So be sure to pick that up and play along with us. But without further ado, it's been a pleasure having you, and we'll see you next time around the campfire.